I wanted to talk to you to start and talk about what Warren G had said on Drink Champs, and then Suge had kind of reiterated about the next Snoop having like a next telephone and hearing play by play what happened in Vegas.
You know what? See, I hate responding to stuff because everybody always want to make it like Reg always trying to correct Suge's truth and all of that. I'm just trying to put it out as I remember it and go back and forth. I'm not saying everything I say is 100% accurate, and I'm not saying everything Suge is saying is inaccurate. I'm just telling it how I remember it, or Snoop or anybody else. So I don't call another person because when we did that video and talked about it, and I know that nigga probably at home smoking on something good and watching football, but I'm calling him because he was like, Reg. He was like, man, what are they talking about? But I ain't gonna coach it. I'm gonna let him tell the story. Y'all know Big Flossie from the LBC. He was one of him and Big C Style and Trey D and all of them were one of Snoop's closest confidants back in the '96. So I'll let him tell the story of what happened on that, and then I'll add to the part of the story about who has radios and who didn't. And matter of fact, I'll tell who had radios before I call while I'm trying to get Flossie on the phone. About to start calling him right now. And then, but the people that had radios, y'all, were Reggie and Suge and Norris Anderson, who was the general manager, who was the coordinator, really like Suge's assistant. And, he was really the connector at the time, Norris and Roy. If you ever hear those two names, Norris Anderson and Roy Tesfaye. So they had a radio that was stationed at the office. Reggie Suge had a radio. The homeboys, I think it would have been Neckbone for sure, Buntry for sure, Tupac did not have a radio, even though we put it out there like he did have one in there. That was actually Suge's radio. Tupac security, whoever was assigned to him, had a radio. And Tupac would always take it or have it and all of that because Tupac wasn't the type to be walking around with a radio. Same thing with Snoop. His security guys, he had two good security that was always with him named Kenneth Archer and Marcus Thompson. They had radios. And then we had a radio that was the station at the studio for this, whatever security was on. But it wasn't like every security guard had a radio and every artist had a radio. It wasn't that way, y'all. It was mainly for the homeboys so they can communicate with each other. Because y'all got to remember back then, cell phones was expensive as hell. And Nextel that just came out with cell phones. They had this thing where you had the two-way radio capability and the group talk capability. I know y'all got something out there where I talked about didn't have capability at the time. I forget which one it was, if it was just direct talking or where it was the group chat talk. But I know they had those two options because I remember those two things. But there was some other feature that was missing that in that damn documentary that Carpethead them put out they tried to talk about. And said that was in there, and I always said didn't even have that feature at the time. But I forget what it is because I can't watch idiot stuff. But Snoop did not have a signed radio, even though people that was with him did. Great call for Flossie right quick. Let him tell the story. Y'all hear from Big Flossie, and we go from there.
Yo, what's up, man?
What up, baby? What up, Big Flossie? How you doing?
Oh, man, chillaxing. You doing, watching football and blowing. You know what I do on Sunday. Chilling. What's up, John? Is John out there with you?
I'm calling you, man, because, our boy Suge Knight, my boy Suge Knight.
It's funny. I listen to one of his little episodes. I've been trying to get into it. I just ain't had time to sit down and listen to it. But yeah, I listen to a little bit of one of his shit.
Okay. Matter of fact, shout out to your clothing company again because we want people to to go and pick up with that.
Player made clothing company. I seen Reg the shirt. Reg, you're supposed to take the shirt out, even if you don't wear it. You're supposed to open the shirt up. But good. Shout out to John. I hope you got one. I know you don't be seen, but yeah, wear my shirt, man. Yeah. Shout out to the Player Made Clothing Company. That's my clothing company, man. Trying to do a little something with it.
Yeah, yeah. Good luck with that, man. Sir. I hope you be my boy's FUBU one day, so I can be like, Flossie, your boy need a loan.
You know how it go. You know how it go. And hey, LA need a new mogul anyway. We need a new mogul.
All right. So Flossie, so what we calling you here over on Bomb First for today is, of course, that segment that you called me on. You was like, what the hell are they talking about? Well, I don't know where my boy Suge going at. It sounds to me like he's trying to throw subliminals at Snoop and them about being involved because of the Crip car, C-A-R, not car, C-A-R, the Crip car, having something to do with the murder of Tupac, that he's trying to act like that's why they wasn't there and that they had something to do with it. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Everybody get mad at me about that. So I'm trying not to, but man, I comprehend shit. Y'all just don't know. I comprehend. And it sounds like he going that route. And so could you just explain to us, because I know you told me you were there. I didn't know you were there and how that went down until you called me and told me this week. Recap it for me right quick.
All right, well, shit. The night Pac got killed, man, we was all together, man. We was over at Warren G house.
Who was we?
I can tell you everybody was in the house. When Lil Half Dead was riding with me, we showed up to Warren G house, and this how the night started. The door was open. We walked in the house. Warren G came down talking shit like, oh man, don't walk in my house, just walk. But at this time, he had a Mexican dude over there that was training his dogs. Warren G had some pit bull. The Mexican dude was up there, and they was training the dogs in the house. So we was there. Warren let us sit down. We was sitting downstairs watching TV. Snoop and him hadn't pulled up yet. Warren G father pulled up, and his sister pulled up. So we sitting in Warren house. Next thing you know, Snoop pulls up. It was Snoop and Marcus and Kenny, his security. You know who I'm talking about,
I know.
Rich. A lot of people, all the shit to be talked about, you never hear about Marcus and Kenny because they really wasn't, death row. They wasn't no gang members. They was just straight, clean cut. That was Snoop's security.
They work for me, actually, right? Way Protective Services. I don't want to brought them around. They actually were two Inglewood Unified School Police Reserves, but yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Marcus and Kenny, they was cool. I'm pretty sure they got a story to tell. But so they pulled up. It was just Snoop and them. So we sitting there functioning. We all there partying. So we all know I knew my little brother and all them was in Vegas, and we knew Nate Dogg was in Vegas. Okay. So we watching the fight, and soon after the fight, I get a call from my brother. My brother had been in the room with Nate Dogg. They was in the room. So he told me that Nate had got the call about what happened. So my brother called me and told me what happened. I told everybody in the house, and we turned it to Channel 7 Eyewitness News. I'll never forget. As soon as we turned the news on, it was the black BMW. You know what I'm saying? And then we was just all sitting there just stunned for a minute.
Okay.
And then next thing you know, we sat around for a minute. The couple of phone calls, everybody's phones is ringing. Next thing I know, Marcus and Kenny got Snoop ass up out of there, and they went back to Claremont.
Okay, let's put some clarity on this now, because Warren got a story out there.
Well, I can't.
And I know you and Warren are still cool, and I ain't here to try to mess up relationships.
Well, I didn't get to hear any interview. Well, so what did Warren say? What is he stating?
All right. Well, we're going to play it.
I heard a horn, bing, 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 honking in front of my house. I looked out the house, and Snoop was outside in a white motherfucking Rolls Royce. Then he had the next tail back there. Remember the motherfucker? Yeah. He had the motherfucker could go, that whatever it was hitting him all the way from what was going on from Vegas. And then he started getting calls and shit, and they was telling him that Tupac got shot and da-da-da-da-da, this, that, and this. I kicked everybody out. Get the fuck out of here, everybody. Get out of here. And then he took off. That's when he went to Vegas to go see him. And that's when he went out there when he went to the hospital. But if I wouldn't have talked to him and got him to come over to my house, he probably would have been right there in the car with them.
And he pretty much telling us that, and I know you didn't hear it, but we played it for the listeners who haven't heard it.
Okay.
But he was on Drink Champ, and he said that they were at the house and they heard over a radio that Snoop had, a walkie-talkie, got him, and all of the commotion regarding the shooting and the incident in Vegas. And then that's when they got out. Okay.
No. I mean, Warren, my boy, but no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It wasn't no radio. I got a phone call from my brother. You know what I'm saying? And I told them, and then we turned it right to the news. It wasn't no loud radio on because we was all eating and everybody was chilling, doing what we do. You know what I'm saying? But no, it wasn't no radio where we could hear what was going on. It was phone calls being made. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And Snoop, matter of fact, I don't even think Snoop even got to no phone because he heard. I don't even know if Snoop had a phone back then. You know what I'm saying?
You talking about a Nextel or you talking about a regular phone, just like a regular phone?
Either one. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to be fair, his two security.
I mean, he might have had a Nextel because I know Nate had one. That's how I know Nate had a Nextel.
Okay, but not a Death Row Nextel though. That was
no. Everybody had their, because me and my brothers, we all had Nextels. You know what I'm saying? So no, nobody had no direct. Like you said, if anybody had Nextels, Death Row Nextels, it was Marcus and Kenny.
That's it, exactly.
That's the only people that would have had phones like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they wasn't. You couldn't just hear. I don't even know. They might have been standing outside. You know what I'm saying? In front of the house. They wasn't in there. I don't know. Now that I think about it, they might have been outside in the front.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that as far as Snoop having the radio and in contact with somebody down there, no, hell no.
All right, so let's kill this motion. Have you ever heard anything or you think, or was there any memo put around among y'all Dog Pound guys to not go to Vegas because we getting word or information?
Hell no. I was supposed to go. I forgot why I didn't go. Yeah, that's how my brother and them was out there. My homeboy J Love, my brother, they was out there.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't none of that. It wasn't none of that.
All right,
we didn't even know. It was just like it was. And that would have been a different thing. It was like, oh man, the Death Row niggas in the South Side is tripping. You know what I'm saying? Because I fuck with this. The truth be told, I fuck with the South real tough. You know what I'm saying? Now, I knew Big Dre, but I didn't mess with Dre like that. But I knew Dre Daddy.
Yeah, I knew his daddy.
That's what we used to fuck with. Cliff used to have a store in Long Beach, so we fucked with Cliff real tough. And then Lil Flossie's cousin was married to Win, rest in peace, Win. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And Win was one of the, he was close with them niggas. But as far as that, man, we knew about that.
The only reason I bring that up is because I was trying to clear the narrative. It wasn't like Snoop Dogg.
No. He was just when we got the phone call that night. That nigga was so shook up and spooked. I'm just gonna be real with it. That nigga was shook up like Elvis.
You talking about Snoop?
Yeah.
You talking about Snoop?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So all that he was hell.
So you up here telling these lies for Reggie because you trying to cover up for me? How much?
Shit. Hey, Reggie ain't giving me a check, y'all. So I just want y'all to know. Yeah. I ain't getting a
It ain't enough. I'm sure it ain't enough money I can give you to mess up your reputation.
No, hell no. Nigga, I ain't like them other ones. I ain't on all these other shows. We ain't gonna mention no name, but I ain't for the circus. I ain't in the circus, homie. That's what I ain't.
Hey, right quick. We cut you off because that's what I do. Because I know I can't make this segment too long. What's going on with Daz and Snoop, man? He been tearing him up. On IG. What's going on, man?
I've been missing it, but I just, I heard it ain't all good. Right now.
I heard. Can you just confirm or deny? I heard that Snoop, whenever they have a family event or something like that, he got to hire security to keep Daz away.
Yeah, I heard it. I just put it that way. I heard it from a reliable source. I heard it. So I was I heard it from a reliable source.
I ain't gonna mess up your relationship with them because I know how it goes. Just like I'll be tapping their shields and stuff. I know we all still got love for each other.
It's like this. Like I told you before, when it comes to that issue, you can call me when it comes to that. But all that other rumor, when it comes to the Long Beach and that Death Row area and all that, you can call me. Yeah, you can call me anytime, and I'm not playing no favoritism. I'm gonna tell it like it was. If I was there, or if I know who was there, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going off of what I heard or this and that. I'm gonna speak on I was there.
All right, y'all. So y'all heard from the horse's mouth. Hey, it don't matter, like I said, because Keefy D motherfucking ass is the one on trial for this shit. We just trying to tell it so y'all know the truth versus the conspiracies.